My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey guys, welcome back. Chances are you have heard of flipping, you've done flipping, you've thought about flipping, taking an ugly house and turning it into a pretty house and selling it for big profits. You're familiar with that. Well, today's special guest, Dewar Gaines, is zooming in from beautiful Birmingham, Alabama, and he does something different. Yes, he's done flips. He's done single family home flips. Then he kind of got sick and tired of that, and he went bigger. And now he's in the process of flipping portfolios, not just doing onesie twosies, but buying somebody's entire portfolio of houses, fixing them up, and then flipping the entire portfolio. So Dewar, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the introduction and having me on.
Well, hey, you know what? And what's even more impressive is he's doing this part-time because he's got another full-time gig, his full-time business. So first of all, Dewar, tell us a little bit about, not a hell of a lot about the backstory, but tell us a little bit about how you just kind of came across this idea
Yeah.
of buying a whole portfolio.
So I own a dog treat company. We manufacture and sell dog treats. In the early years of that, I didn't know what the heck I was doing and needed to find a way to make some money on the side.
Yeah.
So we got into real estate, started out flipping houses in late 2018. And then 2019, we really ramped up, had 7 to 8 projects going on. And then 2020 rolled around, and the first 90 to 120 days of COVID before the real estate market exploded, I got stuck with 4 houses.
Yeah.
And all in different stages of renovation. Couldn't get contractors out, it was a nightmare. Thought I was going to lose everything. Fortunately, I had some really great private partner investors working with me. Otherwise, the banks probably would have been knocking. But it was still a really restless and sleepless time. And so I was like, okay, how do we put ourselves in a position that we never are stuck with vacant properties that aren't cash flowing to cover our monthly nut? And we turned our attention towards rental properties, and then developed the idea of even a larger strategy of the flipping a rental portfolio. So we kind of dove straight into the deep end. We bought our first rental portfolio of 7 houses, so it was 7 doors. 3 of those were duplexes and 1 single family. Some of them were occupied, some of them weren't. Some were under rented, some of them were needed a lot of work. I mean, in Alabama, you can buy a house for 40, 50 grand if you have the gumption to renovate it properly. And it really kind of grew from there. At one point, we got up to around like 37 total doors. And just
all from like one single portfolio of 37 doors, or that was a combination of various portfolios you'd picked up.
So we until about 60 days ago, we had 2 portfolios. What we would consider a Class A portfolio, which is single family homes that are renting for $900 to $1,000 per bedroom. These are $300,000 homes that we go in and we fully renovate those and improve them to $500,000 homes. The other side of the portfolio was low income Section 8 homes that we're buying for between $30,000 and $50,000 per door, putting in a pretty extensive renovation, re-renting, and bringing the value up.
Very, very cool. All right. Well, if you don't mind, let's unwrap this. Let's start with that first portfolio of 7 doors.
Yep.
What class would that have been? Was that
was low income Section 8? And
I thought so. Yeah.
Yes. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we bought all 7 doors for around $160,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
but we
Up here
spent.
in Canada, we can't even get a garage for that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, we work with some investors out of California, and they're like, "Wait, what did you do?" Like, we just bought it. Yeah, but
Okay,
so
so you bought it. How much you say? 170? Let's round it up. Let's say 200 grand for
let's call it
round.
150. Let's
Oh,
call it
150,
150.
150. Okay.
And then we had another probably 100,000 in it.
Okay, so you're all in for 250.
Yes.
Okay, you took the rents from where to where, just to give me a mental picture.
Probably $300 to $800 a door.
A
Some
door.
a door per door. Yeah.
Wow. So they were
Yeah.
renting out for, well, yeah, if you're buying the 7 doors for $150,000, yeah, okay. All right.
Yep. And well, in the Section 8s they were doing closer to 1,100. Now it's a whole different process
Yeah.
going through the Section 8 process. But let's say dollar cost average $800, $900 a door.
Okay, very good. So how long did it take you to turn that project around? Like get them all fixed up, get people in, get people out. Give us an idea of that.
The first 7 doors were the worst portion of the entire portfolio.
Yeah.
When we sold it, 2 of the doors never got occupied. In fact, well, they were occupied portion for a period of time, and then we dealt with squatter, and ultimately that house burnt down. Whole different story. We still sold it as part of the portfolio as just a flat of land,
Yeah.
but that one gave us a lot of trouble, and we learned a lot from that. Duplexes are tough, very,
Yeah.
very tough. When you're doing low income Section 8, because the maintenance requirements on them are a lot higher. So
Okay.
after those first 3 duplexes, and the single family, we bought
Well,
a,
so sorry, did you make money on that first
we
portfolio
held,
flip?
we held it. So
Oh, yes.
yes. So we ended up building, bought the first 7 and then ended up getting to 33 total doors,
Okay.
and then sold down to 22 doors and then sold that entire portfolio. Um,
Interesting. So were you selling before you got down to the 22, were you selling onesie twosies?
yes,
Okay,
just
got it.
offers we could. We sold. So that's what, 22. We sold a couple. One was a 4-unit apartment complex that we did really quick. Moved that really quickly. Had an offer we just couldn't refuse. But the rest of them we sold 2 and 3 at a time to strategic investors.
Okay.
Um, and actually recouped about 50% of our entire investment value for the entire portfolio with those initial flips.
Nice.
And then we stabilized the other 22 doors.
Got it.
Net cash flow on those was around $14,000 or $15,000 a month.
Yeah.
That was a mixture between Section 8 and low income. And 60 days ago, we sold that portfolio to an investment fund out of California. We actually made our entire investment back. We are owner financing it for them. So we made the entire investment back off for all of the entire portfolio off of their down payment.
Their earnest money deposit kind of thing, their down payment.
Yes,
Yeah,
their
yeah,
down
yeah.
payment. And then they will pay us $7,000 a month for the next 30 years. So
That's a pretty
total,
valuable note. That's a pretty
net
valuable
net,
note.
the note is a better performing asset than the headache of dealing with the low income Section 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was a strong 7-figure return in total.
Oh, that's
And it
beautiful.
took,
Congratulations on that one. That's a
thank
home
you.
run, my friend. Yeah. So, lesson learned from that. What are you moving towards now when it comes to the real estate investing? And I'll ask about the dog biscuit business in a minute, but yeah, what are you doing real estate wise?
So now we're redirecting our attention to Class A properties that are in distressed situations.
So
So
what does that look like?
really,
Give me an
really
example.
great neighborhoods, but a home that hadn't been renovated in 30 or 40 years.
So,
And
okay.
we're going in, we are gutting the houses entirely, all new electric, all new plumbing, all new windows, new kitchen, new bathrooms, buying a house for 200 grand, putting 100 grand into it, and it becomes a 400 to $450,000 house is really our target. And then we're renting those out. And these are houses that are getting $1,000 a bedroom homes. And we typically don't touch it if it's not a 3-1, and we'll then turn it into a 3-2 most of the time. So really, really, our buy box is really tight. We're accompanying that with decent school systems or incredibly safe, young, affluent couples that are like the neighborhood we're concentrating on right now is mostly newlyweds, both of them working. That's the neighborhoods we're concentrating on right now.
And so, if I'm understanding correctly, Dewar, then the idea is buy a bunch of these over time, build up a portfolio, put a nice ribbon on it, and find a nice fund to sell it to. Is that what you're planning on doing it again? Rinse and repeat?
Yes, sir. And the goal would be to owner finance it again.
Yeah.
Now, what we have started doing is we are sucking some value out of the house. So we might go get a mortgage on the house for 25% of the value of the home, just to have a little debt on the books and help with those taxes, but also to generate more operating capital for the next purchase and flip. We did not do that on the last one. We owned the low income portfolio free and clear cash. So it's a little bit of a different model, but we'll probably get up to 25 to, well, who knows? We'll get to at least 15 doors. That the cash flow from that will, at that point, it makes it a very, very interesting investment, especially considering, we're even putting new HVACs on a lot of these houses, new roofs. So an institutional level investor looks at it as very, very low risk. And when I say institutional, I don't mean like the BlackRock Vanguard guys. I mean small funds that are hustling houses they're flipping larger portfolios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going in, you're buying these ugly houses in nice neighborhoods, right? You're buying them all cash and you're doing all of the renos all cash. Then the idea is to finance them for maybe 25%
I think what we're doing, so we're
ARV.
actually
Yeah.
refining 3 or 4 right now, and I think we're taking 40% or no 60% on those. Those are 4 that we've owned for 4 years and they've appreciated like astronomically. So we can take a larger nut out of those. And that's what we're reinvesting. We have offers out on 4 properties right now. Yeah, 4 properties right now. So
Very,
all in the
very
same
nice.
neighborhood.
So what do you think the time frame is going to be to build up this portfolio of, I don't know, 15 doors so you're ready to make another lovely exit like you did with this one and create another wonderful stream of income for yourself?
It's a bandwidth issue, really.
Yeah.
I'm only able to give like maybe 10 to 15% of my energy to real estate right now. Fortunately, I have a partner that is, I can say, okay, the house is purchased. He goes to it with me. We say it needs 100 grand worth of work. He has a credit card. He does
The
it
work
all,
gets done.
manages it all himself. We have the 3 color palettes we use. We have the approved tile. We have the rinse and repeat is really our model. If we had, so funding will be the limiting factor for this growth. And so cash only goes so far with, the right private funding partner. Banks don't love this. Community banks do it a little bit. Institutional banks ain't doing it at all. So private partnership cash is one thing that is interested in the longevity of the process. I'd say the biggest limiting factor is cash, but if we do 4 houses a year, then we'll do it in 4 years or 3 more years from now. But if we found the right cash partner, then, could go quicker.
Yeah.
There's certainly selling it's the easy part. It's building it. That's the harder part.
Okay. Interesting. And I was going to ask you about that, Dewar. So say somebody's listening to this and they're going, holy crap, I might like to do that with my own portfolio. How do you go about finding a fund to buy your portfolio? What's been your learning experience with that?
Oh man. Um, so we just private listed on Crexy the first time we listed any, and the funds came crawling out of the woodworks. That was on the low income portfolio, so there was still some property squeeze there or some upside
Yeah.
there. Um, I just have a really interesting network of people that I can reach out to. You target places like New York, New Jersey, Chicago, um, investors out of California. They just don't, I mean, these $500,000 houses that are renting for $3,000 a month are $1.3 million houses in California,
Yeah.
$1.5 million houses in California. So it seems like a no-brainer steal. And these are guys that are not looking to double their money in 5 years. They're looking for a long growth cash flow scenario.
Park it. Yeah, park it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a safe asset class. I mean, there's nothing that we might get to 15 doors and say, dang, this cash flow, 16 doors, this cash flow is too good to walk
Let's
away
just keep
from.
it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty of it. That's why I like the portfolio plays, because the recurring revenue, the cash flow, and I'm fortunate enough to have built the systems now that I can be very hands off. I don't get many, hey, X, Y, and Z is an issue calls. I don't have to spend a lot of bandwidth managing and won't have to as we scale.
Well, that was the other question I was going to have. So you guys self-manage the properties right now, I take it. When you sell it to the fund, who takes over the management at that time?
The low income Section 8 portfolio, we had a management company that was responsible for lease up, collection, and customer service.
Yeah.
They passed all of the repair requests and issues to us if it was over $200. If they say, hey, it's going to cost $200 to go change this light bulb, we'd say, okay, we'll take it. And then I would go and do it myself, or my partner would go and do it
Yeah.
himself. With the Class A properties, no need. It's completely different ball game. We've never chased a check really. We've had folks pay late, but it's a much different process. It's a different type of renter entirely.
And so the fund that purchased the property from you, they take care of their own management.
We passed off the management company that was managing it for us. Whether or not they stay with them, I do not
It's up
know.
to them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I imagine they will, because it's hard to find an 8% manager that
Yeah.
have a whole bunch of fees associated with it. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear. Well, awesome, Dewar. Thank you so much for sharing this strategy. I think it's brilliant. Makes a ton of sense to me, man. And you build it up, you enjoy the cash flow in the meantime, you wait till you get to that critical mass where it's sexy for a fund. And then if you want to bundle it up, sell the whole thing off on one fell swoop. And if you don't, hold on to it.
Bingo.
Yeah, makes sense. So if people are going, hey, I'd like to connect with this smart Dewar guy, how can they do that?
Yeah, shoot me an email. It's Dewar, DEWAR.gaines87 @gmail.com. If you could put that in the comments below, I imagine that can go down there. Happy to hear from you. Reach out and I can share some strategy. I don't know if it's the right one, but it's worked for us thus far.
Well, it sounds like it's working great. Now, just out of curiosity, before we wrap up, how's the dog biscuit business going?
Hey, I'm having to spend more of my energy on it than I am on the real estate. That's for
Well,
sure.
it must be doing pretty well for you then, because sounds like the real estate's going great guns.
Yes, sir. We're very fortunate. It's 7 years old and it is growing very, very rapidly.
Nice. Congratulations. Well, Dewar, thanks for being on the show. This has been a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you on the next one. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.